The space station was loud and full of life. People from many planets came and went. Some were selling things. Others were laughing and playing games. Ethan Carter walked through the station with oil stains on his shirt. He was just a mechanic, waiting for the freighter he fixed to get paid. He had no big plans, just a quiet evening and maybe some food. He saw a group of aliens sitting around a glowing table. Cards were floating in the air, spinning slowly. The aliens laughed and shouted in strange languages. Ethan watched for a moment. One alien with blue skin waved him over. "Come play," the alien said in a deep voice. "New players bring good luck." Ethan shook his head. "I don't know the rules." "It is easy," said another alien with long arms and golden eyes. "You just try to win. Simple." Ethan smiled and sat down. He had some free time. A few chips appeared in front of him. He looked at the cards. They changed shapes and colors. He had no idea what they meant, so he picked some at random. The aliens watched him with interest. The game went on. Players came and left. Ethan kept winning. Did not understand how. He just followed his gut. He laughed along with the others. For the first time in weeks, he felt lucky. Then a new player joined. This one was tall and green, wearing silver armor. He looked serious. He placed a large number of chips on the table. The other aliens fell silent. This was a high bet. Ethan looked at his cards. He still did not know the rules, but he matched the bet. The game continued. Lights flashed. Cards flew. At the end, the dealer stood and raised one arm. It's grand prize. Everyone clapped. Ethan blinked. "Wait, what did I win?" The green alien stood. "You have won the prize, the bride." Ethan laughed. "The what?" A door opened behind them. Music played. A woman stepped forward. She was not human. Her skin was pale with a soft glow. Her hair was silver and long. Her eyes were bright blue and full of light. She wore a crown and a dress made of something like glass and light. She looked at Ethan with calm eyes. Ethan stood up slowly. "Is this a joke?" The dealer shook his head. She was part of the game. Sacred deal. Ancient rules. The woman bowed slightly. "I am Lyra. I will honor the agreement." Ethan rubbed his face. "I thought I was playing for chips or credits." "You played in a royal match," said the golden-eyed alien. "You accepted the terms by sitting at the table." Lyra stepped closer. She was beautiful but strange. Ethan felt a little dizzy. "I don't know what to say." "You do not have to say anything yet," Lyra said. "There will be time to speak. Come with me." Two guards in dark armor stepped forward. One of them handed Ethan a scroll. It glowed with blue light. It had symbols and words written in many languages. One of them was English. "This is the agreement," the guard said. "You may read it later." Ethan followed Lyra through the hallway. Everything felt like a dream. Other people on the station looked at them with wide eyes. Some bowed, others whispered. Inside a large room, Lyra turned to him. "I do not expect love. I only ask that you respect the terms." Ethan sat down. Why would anyone agree to this kind of thing? Lyra looked out a window at the stars. Because sometimes fate chooses for us. He looked at her. She seemed calm but tired, like someone carrying a heavy weight. Ethan leaned back. "I just wanted a snack and some rest. Now I have a bride," Lyra smiled. "Just a little. Perhaps it was your lucky day." He laughed softly. "Maybe. Or maybe it's just the start of something very strange." And so, the human who did not know the rules found himself in a game that changed everything. Ethan woke up in a large room filled with strange lights. The bed under him was soft, but the walls glowed with colors he could not name. It took him a moment to remember where he was, then it hit him. The card game, the prize, the alien bride. He sat up slowly. A small door opened, and Lyra walked in. She wore a different gown now, light blue and shining. Her long silver hair flowed behind her like water. "Good morning," she said. "Did you sleep well?" Ethan nodded. "I think so. This place is ... different. You are aboard my family's ship. You're traveling to my home planet." Ethan stood and looked out the window. Stars moved slowly across the sky. "So this is real?" "All of it, yes," Lyra said. and we must follow the customs. There will be meetings and ceremonies. I will guide you." Ethan turned to her. "Why are you okay with this?" "I mean, being a prize in a card game." Lyra sat down. "It was not my choice. My family placed me in the game to settle an agreement with another house. I did not expect a human to win." Ethan frowned. "What? And now you're stuck with me." "I am not stuck. I have made peace with the rules." "You seem kind, at least." He walked around the room, looking at strange plants in glass cases. "I don't know anything about alien customs. I barely know how to fix my ship, and we will learn together," Lyra said. "There's much to understand, but we have time." A soft sound came from the wall. A small screen lit up, showing a green-skinned alien in a dark uniform. "Lady Lyra, we are approaching the border zone. There is activity near Sector 5. Lyra nodded. "Thank you. Keep the shields up. Prepare the crew." The screen turned off. Ethan looked at her. "Is that normal?" "No," Lyra said. "Someone may be watching us." Ethan stepped closer. "Is it because of me?" "It is because of us. Not everyone agrees with the outcome of the game. Some believe I should have married a noble from their house." Ethan rubbed the back of his neck. "This is getting more serious than I thought." Later they walked through the ship. The hallways were wide and full of strange symbols. Aliens of different shapes and colors moved aside when they saw Lyra. She introduced Ethan to the captain, a tall female with blue scales and silver eyes. The captain looked him over, but said nothing rude. Only a slight nod. They had a meal in a quiet room. The food was odd, but not bad. Some things looked like fruit, others like glowing jelly. "This is called drilka," Lyra said, pointing to a pink slice. "It is sweet and full of energy." Ethan took a bite and smiled. "Not bad. You are doing well," she said. "Many would have run by now." "I thought about it," he said with a grin. "But I don't want to cause an alien war." Lyra looked at him closely. "You joke, but you understand more than you say." That night, Ethan walked alone to the ship's observation deck. He looked out at the stars, feeling small and far from home. Lyra joined him a few minutes later. "You miss Earth." "I miss knowing what the next day will bring," he said. "Out here, everything feels ... big." "It is big," Lyra said. "No, but you are part of it now, whether you plan to be or not." Ethan turned to her. "Why did you really come with me? You could have said no." She looked away. "'Cause I wanted to choose my future, even if the start was strange. You're not like the others. You listen, you ask questions." "That doesn't mean I'm ready for this," he said. "No one is ever ready," Lyra said. "We just move forward." They stood in silence, watching the stars. Somewhere out there was her world, his future, and maybe something they would build together. The stars did not speak, but they watched. And the ship moved on through the dark, toward a future neither of them could see yet. The ship flew through space, quiet on the outside, but tense inside. Ethan sat near the engine room, listening to the soft hum. He had no real job here, but he liked machines. They made more sense than alien politics. The door opened, and Lyra walked in. "The captain wants us to stay in the upper deck. We are close to dangerous space." Ethan stood. "What kind of danger? Pirates?" "Worse, political enemies. Some believe I broke an agreement. They think you are not worthy." "I didn't ask to win you," Ethan said, "but I won fair. Oh, I just want to survive this." She nodded. "So do I come with me?"
"Oh."
"We need to stay close." They walked through the hallway. Guards followed quietly. The ship's lights were dim. Outside, stars blinked. A warning sound echoed. The captain's voice came on the speaker. "Unknown ship approaching. Shields up. Battle stations ready." Lyra pulled Ethan toward a lift. "We need to move now." The lift took them to the upper command deck. The screen showed a dark ship flying fast toward them. It had sharp wings and no lights. It looked like a predator. "We sent a warning," the captain said. "They are not answering. They plan to board us," Lyra said. "They want to stop the wedding." Ethan looked around. Avon moved quickly. Alien crew members prepared for defense. One handed him a small device. "What is this?" Ethan asked. "A pulse tool," the crew member said. "If they get close, pressed the center. The ship shook. A blast hit their shield. Lights flickered. "They're firing," the captain said. "Return fire," Lyra said. "But do not aim to kill. We are not at war." Another blast hit. Ethan held onto the wall. He had never been in a fight like this. He watched Lyra stand tall, calm, giving orders. She was not just a bride. She was a leader. "They're trying to cut into the lower deck," a voice shouted. "Block them," Lyra said, and sealed the doors. Ethan ran with a small team toward the lower deck. Smoke filled the halls. He saw sparks flying from the ceiling. The door to the cargo room shook. "They're coming through here," someone said. Ethan looked around. He saw wires, panels, and broken pipes. He had an idea. "Give me a minute," he said. He opened a panel and pulled out a power cable. "If I link this here and connect it to the floor plate, ... "What are you doing?" asked a guard, giving them a shock. "When they cut through, the metal will fry their boots." The door burst open. 3 dark-armored aliens stepped inside.
Ow.
Before they moved far, sparks flew under their feet. They jumped back, yelling. The guards fired stun rounds. The invaders dropped. Ethan stood up, breathing hard. "Nice work," the guard said. "That was fast thinking." "Just lucky," Ethan said. The rest of the attack ended soon after. The enemy ship pulled back. They had failed. Later, Ethan sat in the medical bay. A nurse treated a small cut on his arm. Lyra walked in. Her face was calm, but her eyes showed relief. "You could have died," she said. "So could you," he answered. "You did not need to help. You are not trained." "I couldn't just hide," he said. "Not when people were in danger. Not when you were in danger." She sat beside him. "You surprised many today?" "They are starting to respect you, do you?" he asked. She looked at him. "Yes, you are not what I expected. But maybe that is a good thing." They sat in silence. The room was quiet now. The ship was safe. But Ethan knew this was just the start. "Will there be more attacks?" he asked. "Most likely, but we will face them. Together." Ethan nodded. He was just a mechanic. But now, he was part of something bigger. A strange game had led him here. But it was no longer just about luck. It was about choice. He was starting to choose to stay. The ship entered the atmosphere of Lyra's homeworld. Ethan stood beside her, looking out the wide window. The planet was full of bright forests, floating islands, and silver cities. It looked like something from a dream. "It is beautiful," he said. Lyra nodded. "It is also full of rules, politics, and eyes watching us." The ship landed on a large platform near a tall palace made of white stone and glowing crystal. As they walked out, a crowd waited. Some clapped, some looked confused, others stayed quiet. Lyra walked with her head high. Ethan tried to copy her calm steps, but he felt nervous. Guards and nobles lined the path. Strange animals flew in the sky above them. Inside the palace, they were led to a large hall. A tall man stood at the front. His eyes were sharp, and his clothes full of gold and silver. He was Lyra's father. "This is him?" the man asked. His voice was cold. "Yes," Lyra said. "This is Ethan, the winner." Ethan gave a small bow. "Sir, it was not planned, but I respect your daughter." The man raised one eyebrow. "Respect is not enough. You must prove your place here." The next few days were full of tests. Ethan had to learn the customs, the history, and the rules of the court. He wore formal clothes that felt too tight, met council members, teachers, and even rival leaders. Some were polite. Others made jokes about him being a mechanic. Lyra stayed close. She helped him speak the right words, wear the right colors, and avoid mistakes. At night, they talked in quiet corners. "Why are they so angry?" Ethan asked. "Because you are new? Because you are human? Because you broke their plan?" "What plan?" "Supposed to marry a noble from another house, so it would have brought power to my family. But now, they must choose a new path." Ethan sighed. "So I'm still a problem?" Lyra looked at him. "You are not a problem. You are a surprise. Some surprises are good." On the 5th day, the Grand Council met. All the major houses were present. The hall was full of lights and banners. A large table stood in the center. Lyra and Ethan sat side by side. Her father stood and spoke. "We must decide. The law is clear. The game was fair. But the future must be safe. One noble stood. Cannot trust a human to hold a royal seat. He is untrained. He is weak. Ethan stood slowly. You are right. I am not trained. I was never meant to be here, but I am not weak. I faced danger to protect Lyra. I fixed your ship when it was damaged. I learned your ways, not because I had to, because I wanted to. The room was quiet. Yet another noble said, he speaks with heart. That is rare here. The vote was held. One by one, the houses gave their answer. Most said yes. Few said no. But the final count was clear. Lyra leaned close. They accept you. You are now part of our court. Ethan let out a breath. What now? Now comes the wedding. The palace was filled with lights, music, and colors. The ceremony took place under a sky dome where stars could be seen. People from many planets came. Even the captain from their ship attended. Ethan wore royal robes, still feeling strange in them. Lyra wore a dress made of crystal threads and soft light. She looked like part of the stars. As they stood together, Lyra spoke. We began with chance, but we continue by choice. Ethan smiled. I still don't understand all of this, but I know I want to be here. The crowd cheered. Music played. The two of them walked through the hall, hand in hand. Ethan no longer felt like just a mechanic. He felt like someone starting a new chapter. That night, after the guests had left, Ethan stood on a balcony. Lyra joined him. You did well, she said. I just tried to be myself. That was more than enough. He looked at the stars. This world was still strange, but it no longer felt foreign. It was starting to feel like home. The days after the wedding were calm at first. Ethan and Lyra spent time learning more about each other. They walked through the palace gardens, talked during meals, and met with visitors from other planets. Ethan still felt like a visitor, but Lyra helped him understand his place. But peace did not last long. One morning a message arrived. It was sent in secret. The guard handed it to Lyra. Her face changed as she read the words. What is it? Ethan asked. Someone plans to stop us, she said. Not with ships. From inside. Lyra showed him the message. It warned of a plot during the next council gathering. Someone in the palace wanted to break the new alliance. They planned to harm Ethan. We must act, Lyra said, but quietly. If we move too fast, they will run. Ethan nodded. We catch them in their own plan. Later that day, the palace was full of guests. A new trade deal was being signed. Leaders and nobles walked through the halls. Music played, but tension was in the air. Ethan stayed close to Lyra. He watched faces, looking for signs of trouble. Near the council room, he saw a servant reach under a table. The man moved fast and looked around too often. Ethan walked closer. The servant turned and tried to leave. Ethan followed. The man started to run. Guards, Ethan shouted. The guards caught the servant near the west door. Under his robe, they found a small device. It was a bomb, hidden and timed. The council was moved to safety. The device was taken away. Lyra looked at Ethan with wide eyes. You saved them. You stopped it. We stopped it, Ethan said. Together, the man was questioned. He was part of a group that wanted Lyra to marry another noble. They believed Ethan was weak and did not deserve a place in power. Their plan failed. The next day, the council met again. This time they praised Ethan. He had shown courage again. One elder stood. You came to us by chance, but you stayed with honor. We now see your value. Another said, you are not just Lyra's husband, you're a part of this world. Lyra took Ethan's hand. I knew they would see it one day. A new role was given to Ethan. He became a bridge between Earth and Lyra's people. He helped with trade talks, peace meetings, and even science programs. His simple ideas often solved big problems. But Ethan did not forget where he came from. He kept a small tool in his pocket, a reminder of his life as a mechanic. Weeks passed. One evening, Ethan stood in the garden alone. The stars above him looked the same as before, but now he felt different. Lyra joined him. You look deep in thought, just thinking how strange life is. I came here by accident. Now I help lead a world. Not by accident. Lyra said, you stayed by choice. That means more. You ever wonder what would have happened if someone else had won that game? Yes, she said. But I'm glad it was you. They walked together in silence. The garden lights glowed around them. In the distance, Music played again. Celebration was starting for the new peace treaty. Ethan and Lyra had helped make it happen. As they walked into the hall, people turned to greet them. Ethan no longer felt like a stranger. He felt like he belonged. He looked at Lyra. "You think this is just the beginning?" She smiled. "Yes. The start of something greater. Not just for us. For many." That night under alien stars, Ethan stood beside the woman he had won by luck and kept by heart. What started as a game became a journey, and that journey was far from over. Stars watched quietly as always. But now, Ethan looked back at them with purpose. He was ready for what came next.